So last week when I complained very vocally about Disney's treatment of Pixar, a lot of you said I was overreacting, but well, apparently I'm not the only one who feels a little demoralized by Disney's decision to put Luca on Disney+. Pixar themselves are reportedly very demoralized after their second major film in a row is being sent straight to Disney+. Hey everyone, I'm Kevin, your failed journalist, and let's take a look at this article from Screen Rant. Pixar employees reportedly demoralized by Luca and Soul Disney Plus releases. Now, I knew that we would probably hear something about this because I'm sitting here watching this all unfold. Like, you know what? Pixar can't be okay with this inside. You know, Pixar has done more for the Disney studio than any other company that Disney has bought. Yes, even more than Marvel. And you want to know why Pixar has done more for Disney than even Marvel with their highest grossing film of all time? Well, because Pixar has given Disney new franchises. They create the Disney magic that sometimes the Disney films themselves don't have, like Raya and the Last Dragon, which I am more and more regretting my positive review of because it really left almost no impact on me, if I'm quite honest with myself. But Pixar, when Disney was floundering with flops like Brother Bear and Treasure Planet and Chicken Little, Pixar was there creating the timeless masterpieces that kept people loyal to the Disney brand. When Bob Iger first came in and bought Pixar's John Lasseter basically revamped Disney animation and paved the way for movies like Frozen and Zootopia to be put into production. And now, during the pandemic, when honestly Disney could probably use a real hit in the movie theaters, Pixar is being shoved aside time and time again. First, Onward, after sharing just a few brief weeks in theaters before being closed because of COVID-19, was sent straight to Disney+. Now, it's true, you could buy it for $20, but why are you going to buy it for $20 when it's free? Granted, that was a one-time thing. At least they thought it was going to be a one-time thing. And, you know, circumstances what they were. Well, Disney then delayed Soul a couple times before announcing that they were going to put it on Disney Plus for free on December 25th. Now, a lot of us assume that was because, frankly, Disney tried this with Mulan, and it wasn't very successful. And by the way, I'm still not convinced it was very successful with Raya. I think they're doing it with Raya and Black Widow because I feel like they have no choice. They're not entirely sure how much the market will stabilize. But, okay, you know what? Hey, Disney was playing around with different things. It looks like going forward for the foreseeable future, the Disney theatrical release plus the Premier Access thing, that's just going to be a thing for a few months. So, hey, Luca will be fine. I mean, under that model, Pixar might actually do very well under the Premier Access model because people really love Pixar. So at the investors conference, when it's time for Pete Docter to talk about what's coming from Pixar, he announced Luca. It's coming out in summer, and he said it's going to be made for theaters. Well, maybe not so much because Disney, as you may be aware, decided that it was going to go straight to Disney Plus, and I said that was a stupid thing. Why would you treat the crown jewel in your studio, which is Pixar, like basically a kiddie machine? You know, they don't spend millions of dollars and all this time making freebies for your kids, and people said I was being just a tad over dramatic. But one of the things I said was that this had to be humiliating for Pixar, and, well, it looks like it has been, at the very least, demoralizing. So here is the article from Screen Rant. Pixar employees are feeling demoralized after the most recent two releases, Soul and Luca, have been sent straight to Disney+. Pixar Animation is one of the pillars of the Walt Disney Corporation, and in 2006 was one of the first major purchases Bob Iger made as CEO of the company at $7.4 billion. Keep in mind, this is a company that Disney spent $7.4 billion on, and they're giving away $200 million films for free as part of a buffet, whatever, which was more than what the company would pay for Marvel Comics and Lucasfilm. Yeah, keep in mind, they paid more for Pixar than they paid for Marvel or Lucasfilm. The studio's release says we're so prestigious that Toy Story 2, originally planned as a direct-to-video movie, was upgraded to a theatrical release when the screening impressed the studio executives. Boy, are we are in a totally different time period now. There was a time when direct-to-video Pixar films decided to go to theaters. Toy Story 2, the Planes thing, which it wasn't very good, I will admit. But now the really good stuff is being made for theaters and it's going straight to TV. And the sad thing is, at least Soul is one of the best things Pixar's ever made, and no way should that have been free. So anyway, Pixar's Onward was released on March 6, 2020, a week before theaters shut down due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Disney then decided to release the film on Disney Plus a month later and tried to hold off on Soul, delaying its release twice. It then finally decided to release the film on the streaming service on Christmas Day. Soul has so far gone on to be an awards season powerhouse, having won the Golden Globe for Best Animated Film and being nominated for Best Animated Picture at the Academy Awards, which, by the way, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to do a little side tangent here for a second. I'm not 100% convinced that Soul's going to win this year. And articles like this might be the reason why. I think because the Academy, even though they've made an exception that movies can be streamed, I don't think the Academy is going to be too happy that Pixar films are going straight to TV. Like, if anyone should really be able to help the movie industry out, it's Pixar films, and that they're not helping them out. I think that might be a little bit of a black eye on this film going into the Oscar season. Granted, it's probably still going to win. I just think there's an outside chance that the Academy might view Disney's giving away of Pixar films as freebies to be not in the movie industry's best interest. But, we'll see. So, Luca was slated for a theatrical release on June 18th, 2021, but as the date grew closer and the conditions of theaters and audience desire to return was more up in the air, Disney shifted its schedule and Luca would become a Disney Plus exclusive. And remember, with the Disney films, I think one of the light bulbs are going out. Sorry about that, folks. They reshuffled. They delayed Black Widow. They made Cruella a day-and-date release. They delayed several other movies. Shang-Chi is coming out later. But Luca, which was going to be premiering in July, this is definitely enough time to see where theater conditions are, decided, nope, that's just going to Disney Plus. No reason. Just going to Disney Plus. For some reason, Cruella was considered good enough to go to theaters in May, but Luca was too much of a risk to release in July. Doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, Matthew Maloney, the former editorial director of The Hollywood Reporter, shared on Twitter that he spoke to a friend at Pixar who says Disney's latest decision to release Soul and Luca to Disney Plus have left many of the employees feeling demoralized. The Pixar films are offered for no additional charge, unlike other properties like Raya and the Last Dragon from Disney Animation or Black Widow from Marvel Studios, which will have the $30 premiere access. Reportedly, this decision has left the employees feeling their work is neither good enough for theaters or to be charged extra. And yeah, how could you walk away from anything else? Now, here's exactly what the tweet says. Just talk to a Pixar friend who says Luca and Soul moves to Disney Plus have been demoralizing for employees. Forget theaters, we're not even good enough for an upcharge. And it's like, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and that's what I was like saying last time on this channel. It's like, there's no reason to just give it away for free. None whatsoever. I mean, granted, maybe Soul resulted in a lot of people signing up for Disney Plus subscriptions, and so they're thinking like, oh, well, we still want to get Disney Plus beyond 200 million. Let's just start giving the Pixar films away for free. Soul did very well on Disney Plus. But the thing is, it's like Pixar, like Marvel and Lucasfilm, makes their films for theaters. They want people to pay for them. It's very, very different when there is a product that it's like, okay, like there's a difference between the Del Taco and the Stan Taco. The Del Taco is 30 cents. It's basically free. And the Stan Taco is $2.50. There's a huge price difference, but guess what? People will pay for the Stan Taco because it tastes a heck of a lot more. This is the equivalent of Disney saying, we're going to charge $3 for the Del Taco, and the Stan Taco, that's 30 cents. Believe it or not, this does have an effect on what Disney thinks of the quality of work. Now, again, maybe the movie isn't very good. I'm certainly not ruling it past. I was not a huge fan of Onward, and Pixar's been a little bit more hit and miss lately. But the thing is, Pixar has still such a great proven track record that there's no reason to give them the benefit of the doubt. And why is it only on Disney Plus for free of charge? Why can't they get a theatrical release plus a Disney premiere access? I mean, again, this movie's coming out after Cruella and after Black Widow. Why don't they get the same treatment as those? It's a good question. Anyway, now, I disagree with this part of the article. Screen Rant continues. Disney still sees a lot of value in Pixar, and it appears they want the studio to have a bigger presence on Disney Plus. Except Pixar doesn't want to be on Disney Plus. Pixar wants to be in theaters. And you know what? They've earned the right to be in theaters. They have made more classic films in 25 years than some studios have made in 40 years. It's ridiculous how good some of Pixar's films are. Most of them are classics. They don't want to be making TV fare for the kiddos at home. They want to be making serious movies for the adult and the kid. Keep in mind, my opinion is Pixar films are adult movies that are kid-friendly. They're not children's movies that are adult-friendly. Anyway, currently the app features a popular short series, Forky Asks a Question, based around the character introduced in Toy Story 4. The studio's first fully animated series, Monsters at Work, is set to premiere on the streaming service on July 2nd, 2021, and in 2022, an animated series focused on Cars characters, Lightning McQueen and Mater, will air on the site. Upcoming feature films like Turning Red and Lightyear are still expected to hit theaters in 2022, yet all release dates and plans are subject to change. I don't think they're going to hit theaters. I am not a hyperbolic person. When Clownfish TV, who I love, by the way, does a video about how the movie theaters are in trouble and everyone's going to skip theaters, the numbers don't support the studios going straight to streaming. It's a nice little, extra source of income, but it's just not enough. And so that's why you're seeing the studios getting bullish on the theaters again. But look, I'm going to have to say in this case, I'm a little concerned that Pixar will no longer be making films for theaters. I think if Disney feels that parents will sign up with enough Disney Plus subscriptions for the new Pixar film, then guess what? Pixar films, they're cartoons. It seems weird that Disney would have that position, but they're cartoons, and so they're going to go to Disney Plus. They're going to be used to sell subscription services, but Pixar's talent doesn't want to make those kinds of movies, and so you will start seeing the Pete Docters and the Andrew Stantons leave Pixar. You will start to see the high-quality writers and animators move on to other studios like DreamWorks, who do release their films in 3D. In fact, I'm going to mention DreamWorks in a second. And that's going to be a shame when that finally happens. So here's the other thing I want to point out. It's not only Pixar that Disney hurts when they make this decision. It's other people. This is from Popcorn and Tequila. It's a blog, and this is an article written by Shay Wiley, and I will leave the whole article link below. But she wrote this article called Dear Disney, We Don't Want Pixar Soul on Disney Plus, at least not in 2020, and here's why. And Shay Wiley wrote this very good article where she was explaining that, this was a monumental film for the black community. It was Pixar's first film with a black lead character. Pixar has had black characters in other films, particularly like Frozone in Incredibles and Incredibles 2. But this was going to be Pixar making a film about a black man, about his life, in many ways about black culture. Like the barber is black, the jazz musicians are black, the school is very diverse. And, this was going to be like a major milestone. And by taking it out of theaters and putting it in Disney Plus, Disney kind of made a roundabout comment and judgment that people would not show up to pay for this. So, hey, we're just going to give it away. It's going to be a freebie at this point. And, that was very, very sad for them. And even though I'm not part of that community, I can see that. I was crushed to see that Soul wouldn't be in theaters. I really wanted to see it in theaters, if only because Pixar makes some of the best films out there. And the thing is, it's even more confusing, and I mentioned this last time, that they did this with Pixar. Because look at The Croods, A New Age. It's been wildly successful. It's been in theaters 125 days and 17 weeks. Unheard of for movies these days, but The Croods is hanging in there, still in the top 5. What about Tom and Jerry? That's doing very well, and that was given away for free on HBO Max. So there's even a case to be made that, yeah, you could do Luca for free on Disney Plus, but it could also be in theaters to be charged for, and people will pay for it. Now, of course, the exception to this is Raya and the Last Dragon. Of course, Raya and the Last Dragon was boycotted by a couple of movie theater chains because Disney would not give them the terms that they wanted. And I also don't think Raya and the Last Dragon was very good. Now, granted, it was better than Tom and Jerry, don't get me wrong. But Tom and Jerry's a familiar IP. I guess The Croods is familiar enough too. But you see these animated movies, and they seem to be doing very well in theaters. And by July, once half the world or more is vaccinated, sure, I think it would have been a success. But to not even be given the chance, that's what's demoralizing people at Pixar. And then it does raise the question, well, what about Lightyear? I mean, Lightyear might be a good movie. It already sounds like a children's film. It sounds like a bad joke that just went too far. And just to let you know, I am totally not interested in it if Tim Allen is not playing Buzz Lightyear. No offense to Chris Evans. He's not Buzz Lightyear. Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear. I could care less. Well, what if Lightyear goes straight to streaming? I mean, look, I know it's up to Disney. I know it's up to Kareem Daniel. He's the guy who's basically calling the shots. And I know that they want to go to direct-to-consumer. But what happens if the team at Pixar becomes too demoralized? Again, once they are under the impression that they're not making real movies anymore and they're just making babysitters for your kids, I think the great talent at Pixar is going to leave. And once the great talent leaves, Pixar is going to be a former shell of itself. And this is just a bad and ugly situation all around. There's no reason for Luca to be going straight to Disney Plus. At the very least, it can do a day and date release where it's like you either see it in theaters or you can pay premium on demand. But for Disney to just take the movie out of that consideration, like, nope, not going to see it in theaters. We're not even going to charge you on Disney Plus. It's just free. That leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, except for the people who want to watch it and not pay anything, because people always like free stuff, but what that free stuff does to the people making it is a whole nother story. But anyway, I would like to know what you think about all this. Do you agree that Pixar's employees have the right to feel that way, or do you think maybe they shouldn't see anything? And by the way, I also would be curious, because some people say, well, that Pixar might not understand the economics of streaming. Please explain how that would work, because I don't think I understand the economics of streaming, and I don't think anyone really can, because companies don't make those numbers known. And if you don't have the information in front of you and you can't see what it's doing and if it's doing what the studio wants, then there's no way to know if this is even working or not. So anyway, I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.